Hey y'all, Charcuterie are here and it's Valentine's. And Emily and I are actually preparing a charcuterie together. Actually, Emily is tutoring me on charcuterie and tutoring you as well. So come along with us and watch as Emily works her magic and makes a very romantic Valentine charcuterie. Here we go. So she grabbed this crystal plate just out of my pantry, and it has a little bit of a rim on it, which I know is kind of nice just to kind of hold everything together.
It's nice to prop things up. So really whenever you're building a charcuterie board, you want to think about getting a lot of texture and depth. So with the lip on the board, it helps with the depth. It kind of adds dimension to your board. So I have a 8-ounce round of brie that you can get at H-E-B, and then I have a manchego. So whenever you have a sloped cheese like this is a semi-firm cheese, especially with manchego, you can see that there's waxing on the side. I like to cut off the wax on the side and keep the top of the slope, keep that wax intact because I think it adds a nice color to the board, especially when it's red for Valentine's Day. I'm cutting off the sides of the cheese from the top of the slope downward, like so. And then I'm going to cut, 2/3 of an inch slices from the top of the slope downward. So they kind of look like this, little triangles. And I'll show you how to style that in a moment, but now we're gonna move on to brie. But in this case, we're gonna do something really fun for Valentine's Day. We're gonna get a heart cookie cutter. I'm sure most of you have one of these on hand. We're going to slice it. This is a soft cheese slicer. I actually got this on Amazon for $10. I think it was marketed as a soap cutter. We're gonna cut the top of the brie. Top of the brie comes off, creates a really beautiful, clean cut. Then we're going to place the brie, top of the rind, down on the board so it doesn't stick to the board. We're gonna get our cookie cutter and take the little heart out. Then I'm going to place the top back on, and it will become, let's see where it is at. It will become our centerpiece, and I'm gonna put some strawberry jam in the middle. So I'll go ahead and fill the heart with some strawberry jam. So when we're placing everything on our board, we wanna think about first doing the containers so that the food items that you're placing on your board can be propped up on the containers. Right now I'm creating like a pretty good balance. So this is when we bring in balance into the equation. The shapes and the different containers are on opposite sides of the board. They're scattered throughout. The heart is in the middle. So when I'm placing my manchego, any triangular cheese that you're using, there are quite a few ways to style it. So you could do the zipper, which is you're basically just doing every other slice. You're flipping them to create this zipper effect. You could do a crown and prop it up on the side of the board. You could do a fan to fan it out, and that also creates dimension, depth, and texture. You could do a fun little river down the middle of your board. The list goes on and on. So today I'm gonna do a zipper. That's kind of my go-to. I'm just gonna flip every other one. And then I have another triangular cheese that I'm gonna do the fan technique. This is a truffle cheese. It's really delicious. And I'm gonna prop it up on the lip of the board. It balances out with the manchego. They're similar colors. My boursin is a nice round shape, and so I want to balance that out with the other round shapes. So I'm gonna take the honey away. The honey is really small, so I can just kind of put that anywhere. but now I have my 4 corners of the board. Most of these ingredients, by the way, come from H-E-B, including this amazing cheese that I love. It's prosciutto wrapped basil mozzarella, and it comes in a log. And any type of log cheese, like a honey goat cheese or this mozzarella, you just slice it up and you can layer it on the board, and also use the lip to prop it. So I'm doing the same thing with this honey goat cheese, where I'm making medallions. I'm placing it on the opposite side of the board from that prosciutto wrapped mozzarella because it's this similar shape and style. Okay, and now I have an aged cheddar, which is super crumbly and delicious. Stab it, flick my wrist, and it crumbles beautifully when you have an aged white cheddar. But it creates these really pretty crystallized crumbles that are super easy to just take a bite of, you know, when you're hosting a party. So when you have a crumbly cheese, you can kind of use it as like a filler on your board. And I'm going to move on to the meat portion. I like a nice Italian dry salami like this. And so I take these slices and I layer them in a line, and I get probably about 15 to 18 slices and just start layering like maybe ½ an inch down the line. Then I just start from the first slice I placed and I start rolling it up. And it starts to travel, and I let it travel. So then it turns into this. I put it in my ramekin, and then I start pulling petals outward. I'm not pulling them up out of the ramekin, I'm pulling them outward to kind of make the flower blossom bloom. And so I'm gonna take 3 other slices of salami, then roll it up, stick it in the middle. You can see that it kind of filled in that hole. And so I'm gonna get 1 more piece, roll it up tight, cut it in half, and I'm gonna stick it in the middle. So there is your rose. All right, so we have all of our cheeses down, and we have our salami rose, and so we're gonna continue with the rest of the meats. I have a sopressata cut up, which comes in a log, and you can cut little slivers like this. So it's a thicker, dry salami. I'm just layering them kind of like that. You can border like the pickles or whatever ramekins that you have. You can kind of do like a border around them to fill in any holes. Looks good. Okay, on to prosciutto. I'm gonna fold it first, kind of almost in half. What I want is the non-fatty side face up, and then I'm gonna make little ripples. So that's the side I want facing up, and since it's folded on the bottom, it can easily stand up on your board. It's really important to be gentle with it. Once they stick together, it's really hard to peel apart. So that looks good. I used about 3 slices. I want to show you another way to style salami. So this is a spicy calabrese salami. It looks really similar in slice to the Italian dry. So I'm gonna fold 1, fold 2. I'm gonna half it, like layer them on top with the flat on the bottom. Fold, fold. So I'm just making these little things. And again, adds really cool texture and design to your board. So we're done with the meat, and now we move on to the fruit portion, which adds beautiful color to your board, very important. So for Valentine's, I have some strawberries, raspberries, and purple grapes. So I'm slicing these strawberries in half. And so I like groups of 3 strawberries on my board. I think it looks nice. So I'm gonna add them wherever I see some space, and add 2 more over here. Sometimes 3 isn't possible, so that's okay. We just have to be all right with that. I like to use, people ask, do you take the grapes off? But I like to use little bunches of grapes. I just think it's really pretty. I'm going to sprinkle some raspberries throughout on any place I see space. The board is pretty much
Let's turn it around so everybody can see it.
No possible way that we can add anything more to this thing, so.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yay.
And it just says love. Right there, the heart in the middle.
Really, garnish and nuts are the final piece to your board. I'm serving crackers on the side, which I do a lot. If this board was, larger, if we had like a little space left over, then I would put the crackers on the side. It's not necessarily like a focal point. One more thing, whenever you used your cookie cutter, you can take the middle piece out and just lay it like on top of something. And so there's like two.
So cute. So then you have two hearts on there.
Two hearts.
It's beautiful. And I could see how you could do a bunny for Easter and do like maybe like a pink jam.
Yes.
And
there's so many.
I have a Texas cutout. So for Texas Independence Day, you could definitely do that. And it just opens up the possibilities.
Possibilities are
All right. Thank you. Yay. That was so much fun.
Thanks for having me.
That was great.